Good morrow, scholars. Welcome back to Survive the Night. How you guys doing? Alright. I'm really far behind today on my uploads for the day, mostly because I took a break just then. I cleaned a little bit more, watched a little bit of a video while I was drinking some water. I still haven't eaten. Anyway. So we left off Chapter 2, page 15. And it's not one of the books that has point of view switching, so I need to be mindful of that because I still have the urge to do so. Anyway, I still haven't decided how I'm going to pronounce it. Iggy? Really? Oh well. How I'm supposed to pronounce all the names, but, you know, whatever. I met Shauna 2 days after screwing up my knee. I slumped in a wheelchair in my hospital room, alone. A thick cast covered my leg from ankle to mid-thigh, making it stick straight out in front of me. The voice blared from the TV mounted on my wall. Madison said she was going to call so we could watch it together, like we always did. But the show had started 20 minutes ago, and she had never called. Something squeaked outside my door. I glanced up, and I saw Shauna watching from the hall. Everyone at my school knew Shauna. They said that she had had relations with our geometry teacher freshman year. She could get you weed and fake IDs. She skipped more classes than she attended. I'd heard her mom was a nurse at the hospital, but it was the first time I'd actually seen Shauna there. She sat outside my door in a wheelchair. She obviously didn't need her blue-tipped hair framing a pale, pointed face. Want one? She held out a carton of cigarettes. We're in a hospital, I said. Oh, right. She slid a thin black cigarette out of the pack and placed it between her lips. Geez, what are you watching? Something stupid. I only said it because I was mad at Madison. Me. And The Voice was her favorite show. But Shauna smiled. Complete garbage, she said. Just a heads up. I will be making some modifications to the words. The show is never mind. The garbage that garbage throws out works for me, I suppose. Kind of fits with... Never mind, I'm stupid. I laughed. It was the first time I'd laughed all day. I guess, I said. It's not like I have anything better to do. I can't think of a good euphemism. Bull hockey, I guess? I don't know. She said, shaking her head. Follow me. She wheeled away without another word, chair squeaking. You know that story about the guy who plays his flute and all the kids follow him out of the city? That's how I felt. Like if I didn't follow Shauna, everything would change, or nothing would. I wheeled after her, and down the hall and out the back door to a grassy stretch next to the dumpsters. I expected her to pull out a joint and offer me a hit. Instead, she rolled to the edge of a hill. She glanced over her shoulder and at me and wiggled her eyebrows. Look, she said, no hands. Then she launched herself down, lifting her arms high above her head. The wind distorted her scream, turning it feral. It blew her hair back in a rippling sheet of blue and blonde, and then she was rattling down the hill. Her laughter bubbled over, hanging in the air long after she disappeared. I followed her to the edge, my heart pounding. I wanted everything she had, the hair, the laugh, the scream that sounded half wild. I launched myself over the side of the hill with a single push. A scream ripped through my throat, and it sounded almost, but not quite, like hers. My wheelchair rattled beneath me, threatening to fall apart. My stomach plunged, and the wind made my eyes water. Adrenaline charged through my body, but then it was over, and I was rolling to a stop next to Shauna. A wide smile cut across my face. More, I thought. Shauna looked back at me, eyes glinting. Tell me you didn't love that, she said. Again, I do not condone these types of friends. Anyway, where was I? I hurry away from Madison's house, trying to ignore the whispers that erupt behind me as soon as I'm out of earshot. This will be all over the school on Monday. Not that it matters. Rehab did a pretty good job of destroying my reputation already. I pull open the door to Shauna's rusty Buick. Hey, I don't have a good euphemism for this word, but it starts with an S. So I'm going to say Slurpee. But that sounds dirty, Shauna says, winking at me. Platinum blonde hair frames her face, but now the tips are dyed bright pink instead of blue. Thick eyeliner circles her eyes. There we go. I can't help but smile as I slide into her car. It doesn't really matter what Madison and the rest of my old soccer friends think about me. Shauna makes them look like little kids. I'll just say which, I say, and Shauna's lips curl into an amused smirk. They're slathered with pink lipstick, the same shade as her hair. Rehab made you feisty, she says, wrinkling her nose at me. I brush an empty Funyuns bag off the passenger seat and pull the door shut. Madison and the rest of my old friends watch from her porch. I turn away from them, heat climbing up my neck. Let's go, I say. They're staring. Because they're jealous. Shauna's voice is always a shock the first few times you hear it. It's deep and gravelly, the voice of a 40-year-old smoker, not a high school girl. She's talked her way into bars and clubs all across Philly, which is insane since she's a tiny pixie of a human being. Underneath all the makeup, she looks like she's 13 years old. I'm concerned. Don't you realize how hot we are? Shauna says. I roll my eyes, but her words loosen something in my chest. It's the way she says we. The way she thinks I'm more like her than I am like Madison. She pulls away from the curb, blowing Madison a kiss as we roll past her house. She says, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say we could get the entire state of Pennsylvania to bow down and worship us. I twist around to face the back. Hey guys. Stop. Too much energy. Julie yawns. She's stretched across the back seat, a bare foot propped against Aya's leg. Her bushy mane of hair falls past her hips. Only one eye peeks out underneath the crazy curls. Might be weird. Sorry, I grin, tapping my fist against the back of my seat. All the nerves and anxiety I felt walking up the stairs to Madison's porch have disappeared. I feel relaxed for the first time since leaving Mountainside. No one is judging me here. So, I say, where are we going? Geez, do you want an itinerary? Which, I'm surprised I also got that word out. Shauna rearranges her loose, gauzy tunic so that the neckline falls over her shoulder. Wait, what? I can see her black bra through the fabric. I'm uncomfortable. Iggy, why do you do these things? It doesn't matter. No, it's pie. I shift in my seat. If my parents find out I ditched Madison's sleepover, I'll be grounded for the rest of my life. But I push that out of my mind. We rescued you from suburban... yeah... HE double hockey sticks, which is... something I never actually watched on Disney back in the day. Do any of you remember that? Was it a show, or was it... a special? I don't know. I did see one, and I think it had never... anyway. Aya adds. She squints at Julie's foot, a nail polish wand clutched in her manicured fingers. 3 toenails are already fluorescent pink. Aren't you excited to see us? Instead of answering, I crawl halfway into the back seat and plant a messy kiss on Aya's cheek. Mwah! I will never be that comfortable with anybody. Anyway, hey, Aya giggles and shoves the wand back into the polish, screwing the cap shut. Watch the... Oh my goodness. What did you do to your hair? I touch the side of my face, and nerves start flickering through my stomach again. Shauna jerks around to look at me, and the entire car swerves. I start to push my hair down over the buzzed side, but she grabs my arm. Don't be shy. Her fingernails cut into my wrist. That sounds painful. Let's see. It's not a big deal, I say, but I brush my hair back behind my ear. Wind leaks in from the cracked window and tickles my skull. I remember that feeling. Shauna cackles and drops my hand. You look completely deranged, she says. She pulls out of Madison's neighborhood and hits the gas. I jerk forward, catching myself a second before I slam into the dashboard. Is that a good thing? My voice sounds needy, which I hate. Shauna has this way of looking at you when you do something lame. Like she's trying to solve a math problem. Like you don't quite add up. I glance at her, preparing myself for the look. But she grins. Are you kidding? It's amazing. She squints at me. Why? Didn't those boring little soccer girls like it? I think they were confused by it. Shauna throws her head back and laughs. Of course they were, she says. She wraps a pink strand of hair around her finger. Beep them. You look like one of us now. Now I'm starting to sound like the smoker. Did any of you play Left 4 Dead? I grin and push my hair to one side to better show off my buzz. Shauna nods her approval. Completely deranged, she says again. This time it sounds like a good thing. Like something to aspire to. If I rub it, can I make a wish? Julie asks. Aya snorts. That's not the first time she said that today. What? Aya adds, and Julie smacks her on the shoulder. Why are you painting her toes in the car? I ask, shifting my attention back to them. I thought we might need road trip activities. Aya purses her perfectly lined cherry red lips. I stare at her mouth, jealous. I can't wear lipstick without smearing it everywhere. I blame my parents. I wasn't allowed to wear makeup until I was 16. Where was I? Aya wrinkles her nose at Julie's foot. On second thought, the pink makes your skin look green. I think it's rad, Julie says, wiggling her toes. Shauna's car skids to a stop at a red light, and my head slams against the headrest. Whoops, sorry, Shauna says with mock sincerity. When I first started hanging with Shauna, I used to complain whenever she went over the speed limit or rolled through stop signs, but that just made her drive like more of a maniac. Shauna grabs my backpack and pulls it into her lap. What did you pack for the sleepover? I cringe, thinking of my strawberry PJs. Nothing, I say, reaching for my bag. The light turns green and Shauna's car jerks forward. No, let me see. She steers with one hand and yanks my backpack open with the other. She pulls out my pajamas and smirks. These are precious. I want to die. I snatch my backpack from Shauna's lap, but she holds the pajamas out of reach. She grins wickedly and unrolls her window. My stomach drops. What are you doing? I hiss. Liberating you, she says. She thrusts my PJs out of the window. Her fingers clench tightly around the cotton shorts and tank top. They flap in the wind like strawberry print flags. Shauna, don't, I say. Casey, maybe Madison and those other girls love their adorable matching sleepwear, but you're nothing like them. This reminds me of that one scene in The Dark Knight. Only... Huh, uh-oh. That's worrisome. Sorry about that. Had a little bit of trouble with the connection for the headphones on the thing. So I'm just gonna edit these two together because I don't want to have to go back through everything else I just read. Anyway, where was I? Adorable matching sleepwear, but you're nothing like them. Shauna shakes her head like she sees something in me that I don't. You are oversized band t-shirts. You're black thongs and men's boxers. I'm uncomfortable. Her words stir something inside me, like she's describing a completely different world from the one I grew up in. Her world is exotic and daring and sexy. It's seductive. Shauna glances at me, her eyebrow raised. Do you really want them back? She asks. I roll my lower lip between my teeth. I glance at the pink pajamas, then back at Shauna. Do it, I say. Shauna grins, and let's go. The pink cotton shorts and tank top whip away from the Buick, narrowly missing the windshield of a white minivan before fluttering to the pavement. I watch them grow smaller, and it's like a weight has been lifted. You're psychotic, I mutter, but I'm still smiling. Face it, you're going to lead an incredibly exciting and dangerous life, she winks at me, whether you want to or not. Exciting. It makes me think of discovering secret clubs in the city and partying with dangerous people and dating older men. But then Rachel's bloated, vacant face pops into my mind. I squeeze my eyes shut, trying to force the image away. There has to be a way to live an exciting life without winding up like her. I look around for a distraction and my eyes fall on the book wedged beneath Julie's thigh. I grab it from her and flip through the pages. This is in French, I say. Julie nods. Yeah, she says in her slow, even drawl. It is. But you don't speak French, I pointed out. Julie purses her lips, tapping a finger against her chin. The black onyx ring, there we go. She always wears glitters at me. Go ahead and get that ready, I suppose. The meaning of the book transcends language, she says. I don't get it either, Aya says. She pulls a tiny silver compact from her purse and checks to make sure her... I'm not sure what this word is. So I'm just going to say makeup. It's still perfect. She adjusts the silky scarf tied around her head so that the bow is right below her left ear. She's been weird ever since her brother brought her this weed from Colorado. That's not a good brother. Okay. Sorry, I just want to kind of get a head start of the thing. Okay, there. Ah, my ear. Okay. Hey, Julie says, frowning. I was weird long before that. Aya rolls her eyes. Neon blue liner wings away from the corner of her lids. What? The lines so perfect, they look like art. Aya has a beauty channel on YouTube. I do not. Huh. Ow. She only has 10,000 followers now, but we all know she'd be famous if she put a little effort into it. I like that. Only... my brother and I were talking a while back how getting 100 subscribers on YouTube was an accomplishment back in the day. Anyway, where was I? Why are we talking about you two? You're boring. Shauna swerves in front of a white SUV. A horn blares. I want to hear all about the rehab, she says, flipping off the SUV over her shoulder. Did you have relations with any of the nurses? The nurses were all female, I say. Shauna blinks. So, did you have any relations with the nurses? She asks again. Julie groans and flops back against the window. I heard a lot of girls experiment in rehab, Shauna says. You're thinking of college, Aya interrupts, examining her cuticles. You can't start, what? Having relations with girls until you spend thousands of dollars getting an art history degree. Everyone knows that. What if I don't go to college? Then you'll just have to stick with the boys, I say. I'm grateful for the subject change. Sorry. Shauna pretends to pout. She shifts gears and merges onto Old Town Highway. I watch the speedometer needle shoot from 55 to 70. So what's new? I ask before Shauna can start asking about rehab again. I hear Sarah Johnson's a Christian now. Julie snickers. That girl is dumb. I told her I was an atheist, and she said she didn't know there was an atheist church in town. That kind of hurts my head to think about. Hand me my bag, Shauna says, waving at the slouchy leather hobo bag on the floor next to my feet. I thrust it toward her, and she pulls out a tiny bottle of Jack Daniels. She takes a swig, then hands it to me. I'm okay, actually, I say, waving the bottle away. The needle on the speedometer is hovering around 80 now, but I resist the urge to buckle my seatbelt, knowing that Shauna would notice. Shauna groans. Please tell me you're not going to be all boring now. She just got back, Aya says. Give her a break. What? Shauna rolls her eyes. She went for drugs, not alcohol. What's the difference? I feel a twinge of irritation. It's like she thinks I got back from summer camp, not rehab. Hi, Kitten. I feel so bad for Kitten. She has to wear the little cone on her head because the surgery from her, what do you call it? Anyway, she got it infected the last time, so anyway. You know, I saw some really messed up stuff in there. You think I haven't seen messed up stuff? Shauna catches Aya's eye in the rearview mirror and tosses the whiskey bottle over her shoulder. Watch the road, I mutter. We're at 85 now. I guess it's kind of adorable, Shauna continues, smirking. Little suburban princess got all freaked by the scary addicts. She glances at me and her voice hardens. Do you, not want to hang out with us anymore? Her jaw tightens. You didn't even call when you got home. She actually looks hurt. Guilt oozes into my chest. You know how my parents are, I say. Shauna doesn't look at me, and my stomach clenches. Of course I still want to be your friend. Jeez. Shauna cocks an eyebrow. Prove it. Aya nudges me with the whiskey bottle. I slide it from her fingers and take a small sip. Even so, it stings my throat and makes my eyes water. Shauna rolls her eyes. Or you could take a big girl drink, she challenges. I haven't had a drink in 12 weeks. Still, I take a larger swig. Good girl, Shauna purrs. Casey's trying to find some balance. Julie pinches her fingers together like she's meditating. We should support her. Aya snort laughs into her hand. What are you, a guru? She asks. Julie cracks a smile. Call me Mother Julie. I'll teach you the secrets of life. Casey doesn't need balance, Shauna cuts in. She needs her parents to loosen the beep up. She looks at me for confirmation. You know you didn't need rehab. Your parents flipped for absolutely no reason. I know, I mutter. My parents are the only people on the planet who think oxycodone is some big scary drug. It was stupid when they sent me away to rehab like a common junkie and not just a regular teenage girl having a little fun. Then again, nail polish remover isn't a big scary drug either. And look what it did to Rachel. Raquel, I forgot about that. I try to come up with something else to say. Something that'll convince Shauna we can rule all of Pennsylvania, even if I'm sober. It was just creepy as all get out in there, I finally say. I don't want to end up like those girls. Old Town Highway narrows to 2 lanes. We call this stretch the Noose because the road curves in a big loop before merging with I-276, the interstate that'll take us the rest of the way to New York City. The highway is here is narrow enough that you have to concentrate to stay in your lane. At least once a year, some kid takes the Noose too fast and drives into oncoming traffic. Shauna slows as we curve around and roll up behind a rusted Jeep Cherokee going 20 miles below the speed limit. That would probably be me if I got on the highway at all. She swears under her breath and hits the turn signal, swerving into the oncoming lane to pass. Careful, I mutter. What do you mean, careful? Shauna glances sideways at me. Afraid I'm going to crash? We shoot past the Cherokee, but she doesn't pull back into her lane. Anxiety prickles up my spine. A little, I admit. Shauna gets a strange glint in her eye. Maybe I should, she says. Maybe I should crash this car and let it burn. She presses down on the gas. Ha ha, I say. Shauna presses down harder. You think I'm joking? She asks. The speedometer needle crawls past 85. The Buick starts to tremble. Dude, I don't think your car's supposed to go this fast, Julie says. It's going to fall apart. You're fine, aren't you, boy? Shauna purrs, petting the dashboard. She presses harder and the needle climbs to 90. The fastest I've gone in my car, I think, is 45. Where was I? Climbs to 90, I think. She presses harder and the needle climbs to 90. My fingers itch to reach for my seatbelt, but I just curl them around my seat. What? Maybe if we hit 100, we'll fly. She smiles, this little kid smile that takes up half her face. I don't know anyone else who smiles like Shauna does. It's pure, giddy joy. Like she doesn't care who sees her. The speedometer needle ticks up to 95. Headlights appear in the distance. They flicker through the trees, white and haunting. Shauna, I says from the back seat. I see them, she says. A red pickup appears at the far end of the curved road, driving toward us. Maybe we should stop, I say. Shauna winks at me. We're playing chicken, she says. Oh, no. I dig my fingers into the car seat, trying not to notice how quickly the trees race past my window. I'm starting to feel sick. Get back in your lane, I say. I think of the videos they made us watch in Driver's Ed. One of them was about how seatbelts could be the only thing to keep you alive in a head-on collision. I pull my seatbelt over my lap and click it into place. No longer worried about seeming cool. Shauna snickers. Aya leans forward and wraps her fingers around my headrest. This isn't funny, she says. I'm getting nervous and I'm just reading a book. Shauna throws her head back and hoots with laughter. Julie giggles and starts humming the Jaws theme song. It's always that one person. Where was I? The rearview mirror rattles like it might fall off, and I notice a crack jutting across Shauna's windshield. If we crash into that pickup, the Buick will crumple around us like paper. I glance at the dashboard, wondering if this hunk of junk car even has airbags. Oh, that's a good question. The truck races closer. It flashes its bright lights at us, but Shauna makes no move to swerve back into her lane. Pressure builds in my ears. They feel like they're about to pop. Shauna, I say again. We can't be more than a mile from the truck. I breathe in through my nose and out through my mouth, like they taught us in rehab. Half a mile. A scream rises in my throat. The truck flashes its bright lights again. Shauna leans into her horn. I squeeze my eyes shut, and the long, low sound echoes in my head. I brace myself for the impact. The Buick jerks to the right. It rocks beneath me and bounces over something, then slows to a stop. Adrenaline races through my veins, and my heart beats jackrabbit fast. I ease my eyes open. We're pulled over on the side of the road. The pickup speeds away, quickly becoming a tiny red dot. Pine trees tower over us. Shauna stares at me, her face bright and excited. Tell me you didn't love that, she says. Aya swears, and Julie laughs so hard she starts to hiccup. B-word, I say, collapsing against my seat. Fear pricks my skin like needles, and my breath comes in ragged, sharp-edged bursts. I thought we were going to die. But we didn't. My blood burns hot as I turn those words over in my head. I didn't die. In fact, I feel more alive than I have in 3 months. Shauna smiles at me again, the same giddy little kid smile as before. I hate you, I say, smacking her on the shoulder. I try to glare, but I can't help it. Shauna's smile is addictive. Everything about her is addictive. The corner of my mouth twitches. I told you, she says. You're going to lead an exciting, dangerous life. Just stick with me. Okay. Well, that was morbid and kind of awkward for me. All over the place. Sorry about problems. I noticed the thing over here and I had to make sure that the audio was actually being recorded, and it was, so yeah. It'll take a little bit longer to get both videos up, so sorry about that, and it'll probably be closer to 2 your time, wherever you are, unless it's closer to 2 my time, wherever I am. Or even later than that, I don't know. We'll see. Plus, Iggy decided to use the restroom, so I'm gonna have to get him. I might do that first and then start uploading. I don't know. Anyway, this has gone on too long. Let me know if you'd like to see anything with the first book of the Dresden Files. I'm really interested in it. I think it would be good for me and Miga to research. Well, not research it, but like read it to get an idea for the setting that we're going for. Anyway, let me know what you think, and until next time, goodbye everybody. And again, sorry.